Okay guys, welcome back. So we're over for a little venture
session.
over at the putting session.
Nice to be back.
It is nice to be back. So this week we want to touch upon the Edel putter fitting system that we just brought in. We've had it in the store maybe for about 6 weeks now.
Okay. Yep.
We actually had David up here 2 or 3 weeks ago himself, and he was doing some fittings, and it was good to watch him use his system and kind of obviously, you know, you can start to see why he's designed it the way he has. It's very unique. It's a really, really neat system, fully customizable, and you know, we've always just kind of been very selective with the type of putters that we've put into our matrix. We carry anywhere between 70 and 85 putters at any given time, but you know, now we have the opportunity that if we don't have what you need, we'll just make it.
Yeah, because it's really so component based. It's many options. I guess the combination of the heads, the neck style, the shaft length, the weighting configuration, you're sort of just building a putter from scratch.
I mean, you go anywhere from 32 inches to 37. You have necks with forward shaft lean, no shaft lean, backward shaft lean. Okay. You can take a blade, a mallet, a wide blade. You can take a standard sort of face with some sort of milling in there. You can take a pixel face, which is designed to evenly distribute energy. So rather than, you know, relying on the CG of the head, you're basically taking energy from the CG of every one of these little pixels.
Oh, wow.
So it evenly distributes the sort of the energy produced. Some of the things with the system that kind of have opened our eyes is to the influence that certain putter shapes, lengths, the amount of offset, the lie angle, all that sort of stuff, and what it does to alignment.
Okay.
So one of the biggest things when it comes to putter fitting is we find, you know, the reaction of the stroke is based largely upon the alignment to start with.
Right.
So we tend to find that players who, you know, right-handed players who aim a little bit right, they tend to be overly handsy and you know, excessively releasing the putter,
trying to pull it back,
trying to close that face down because they have to. And then people who aim a little bit left, they tend to be kind of push putters. They maybe cut across it a little bit in order to kind of keep that face open for longer because they start aiming a little bit to the left. So, you know, all these sorts of things, you know, you can start to influence by just having better alignment. So fundamentally you can improve just because your aim means you don't have to compensate for that bad setup at address.
So this process, I know when you use Quintic, I've seen you kind of show people where they are aimed.
Right.
And they become aware of it. I had the same experience. I think I want to say aimed left as a left-handed player. And then from there, I think that helps them become aware of it. That's a different process in this because this is more, you're going to pick a head and neck that will hopefully make them actually aim straight to begin with. Is that the difference?
It is exactly it. And as we go through the process, I mean, you'll see that sort of little laser at the back there. So the idea being that, you know, we'll place the golf ball down, the laser will hit the golf ball. We'll ask you, okay, Matt, you know, set yourself up to it. We'll remove the golf ball and then the laser will beam off of a mirror on the club face and it will reflect on the kind of little canvas at the back there. Screen, and then it will show you exactly, are you aiming left? Are you aiming right? Are you aiming high? Are you aiming low? What are you doing with the tilt of the club face? And then we'll go, okay, you know, that's what obviously you feels like square, that to your perception, that's what square is.
Right.
We have to try and change that. So it's one thing, and you know, we talk to people about their tendencies and their alignment tendencies, and it's fine to fix it here and go, okay, so you aim a little bit left, just so you can feel like you're aiming at the right side of the hole. You know, my curiosity is always, what happens when that player leaves here? Do they carry the same sort of thought process? Do they still try and aim a little further right than what their perception tells them to? So, you know, this kind of tackles that.
I think so too.
In a more sort of permanent fashion.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So let's get you set up. Let's see what your tendencies are.
Sure. All right. Let's touch on that while we make some putts.
Let's do that. So your own putter right now, 34 or 5?
5.
Okay. So we'll start there. Obviously, you've been using blade, the Bobby Grace blade with a little flow neck.
Yep.
Okay. So let's kind of build you something that resembles that for you. Okay, Matty. So we've assembled just a putter that is kind of around your spec, 35, kind of blade. Now, I've just picked a hosel neck, kind of random here, just for the purpose of the exercise. It's got a little bit of backward shaft lean. I won't kind of dive into who that's good for just yet. Let's let that kind of evolve and as to where it is. But you can actually see
it's behind the sweet spot. Is that basically
exactly?
What it is?
So it's going to present the loft in a different fashion. So we're going to use, so within the laser, it's obviously held inside of a little mold that is the exact size of a cup.
Gotcha, so I'm aiming at the hole.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's remove the golf ball. So you guys can see, so Matt's alignment is okay. I mean, you can see
it's a little right.
It's a fraction right. I mean, and over the course of like a 50, 40 foot putt, that's quite a bit right.
That's gonna matter, yeah.
But look how high it is, right? So
quite a bit in the, so
very high.
For reference, you were hoping to see something like that if it's good.
Right.
Or sorry, this is perfect, I guess.
Something like that, just below that first crease would be sort of ideal. And then you were up towards the second crease.
Yep.
So what I'd like to do is just, I'm actually going to take that mirror off 1 second.
Okay.
I'm just going to, get you to hit a putt off the do board, just to illustrate a little bit of what that roll would look like if you were to hit like a 20 footer.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay. So if you can see there, some fairly significant sort of skipping.
So the ball was there.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be in the air for that amount of time? It looks like it kind of jumped.
Yeah, within three feet, the ball is not in any kind of constant contact with the ground. Okay, so that's, again, we're verifying that what we've seen from the laser is going to basically perform badly for us when we get it.
So it's kind of gone up in the air and it's gone a little right of center on the board.
Exactly. Okay.
Cool.
So first little change we'll make is to obviously change that offset.
Okay.
So set this one in, very different.
This is forward shaft lean, same line.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so aim at the hole.
Okay.
Aim at the hole. Okay.
Okay, so probably down, about, I don't know, what do you think, 3 inches from where it was?
I would say comfortably, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, so yeah, just come on out with the putter, just take your putter clean out of there. Okay, and then walk back in.
Gotcha.
Okay, ball position, do everything in your setup. Good.
Okay.
Okay, a fraction to the right.
Yeah, interesting. Eh?
Okay, so
it definitely came down.
Yeah, definitely came down.
Which makes sense.
Let me steal this 1 second. Okay, sneak back into this one.
Is that a different head you put on?
Same head.
Same head, okay.
Does it feel different?
I wasn't looking at it.
Okay.
Okay, and ready.
Okay, so still a fraction to the right.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
Can't quite get it. It looks square, but...
Got it. Okay, let's steal that. So this is kind of where we're starting to pick out. So I could see with the 35 inch, the ball was a little outside your eye line.
Yeah.
So without 34.
Oh, that was 34.
That was 34,
okay.
so slightly smaller.
Gotcha.
And now I'm going to just change. So I'm going to change heads. Okay. All right.
Okay, mallet head.
Mallet.
34 inches.
34.
See where my aim is.
Let's see how this is.
Ready.
Okay.
That's better.
So a little bit more sort of online, directly over the laser.
So the only thing we changed was the head shape.
Yeah, we changed the mallet. So again, just different heads. We will tend to aim slightly differently. Talking to David, he said he found that a lot of people with mallets would aim a little bit more left. Blades would maybe aim a little bit more right. So
seems to be what's happening.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of for you weren't much. I would say you were half a cup.
Yeah, I would say so.
Half a cup to the right.
Yeah.
So this one seems to be a little bit better. And obviously, if you're aiming there, that's got a direct correlation to the loft as well. We found it was a little high and right. So by squaring the blade up a little bit with the the forward shaft lean, so now you have offset to work with. That's going to give you a little bit more time for the blade to rotate and obviously get the handle a little ahead of the face. That's the idea.
So offset kind of on a putter is similar purpose to an iron.
Very much.
To get the face square.
By its time to rotate.
Gotcha.
Let's roll a couple off the board. Pop that down, Matty boy.
You say 20 footer or so?
Yeah, about a 20, 25 footer somewhere along those.
Looks a lot different to me.
Very different, isn't it?
Looks like a line. Last time it looked like a bunch of kind of just sort of splotches. It looks like it went down the center line.
It was pretty ideal, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a fairly clear-cut thing where obviously at impact with the shaft lean difference, there's less loft being presented.
Yep.
And the face is not as open as it was before.
Exactly. So with that neck that we've obviously seen that you do much better with the idea with the handle being that much further forward than the head, the idea being that you will kind of lean that shaft more on the way into impact, therefore de-lofting that head.
Okay.
Right? So if the head if the club face is ahead of the hands, the chances are that 3 degrees of loft that comes in the putter, you will deliver that very much upwards. If the handle is ahead of the club head, you'll deliver that with less dynamic loft and you'll actually roll it much, much better.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's causing the reaction in your stroke.
Definitely. Okay, so I like how that one was set up for you there.
Yeah.
Let's do a little quintic verification. Okay, so here's what we've got you. So we've got a little kind of almost mini mallet. 34 inches, little bit of offset on there. So, you know, when we done the little check on the do board there, you're rolling that much, much better.
It really seemed to be drastically better, yeah.
So let's see how that correlates with what we want from quintic, how it, you know, lines up and matches up with the 1.5 degrees of launch. We're looking for 30 to 50 RPMs of forward spin.
Right.
You know, we're looking for consistent impact ratio. That's you know, in common terms, smash factor. So impact ratio being the consistency of how how quickly the ball comes off the face.
Okay.
So talking about those little pixels in the face and how they transfer, sort of each one has its own sort of CG and sweet spot and that sort of thing. So it is designed to transfer energy more efficiently. So let's see if
the numbers,
it does what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Absolutely robbed.
Greenskeeper didn't cut the hole low enough for that firm pace.
Okay, so a little bit of launch on that one, Matty.
Okay.
Probably didn't roll back. Sorry, didn't roll forward much. Probably a little bit of backward rotation. Yeah, all in all, pretty good stuff. Little bit of upward angle or upward lie angle. So. That was lovely. Lovely little stroke.
I suspect it will be
That
a
was
little
much
bit
better.
of his better roll.
Yeah, much better roll. Really nice.
I might have fractionally towed that, is
Okay.
what I felt. So I wouldn't be surprised if it twisted a little bit.
Launch angle should be more like 1.2, 1.5, somewhere in that ballpark.
Good guess.
Yeah, 1.6. I mean, so I would say, other than the toe strike, Matty, which obviously it sort of influenced the gear effect a little
Right.
bit of the.
So it was rolling.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. So you had a slight into-out path, slight closed face to that path. Now, face was perfectly square to the target.
Okay.
Right? You know, anytime we see that blue, that's what we want.
Yep.
Shaft angle was forward a nice amount, 2 degrees forward, 2 degrees up is kind of what we look for. That would be ideal. Launching that at 1.6 and 35 RPMs of forward spin, it's hard to be honest, get you in a better spot than that.
Huh.
It really,
Interesting.
really pretty good. Slightly out the toe, so you know we'd work in some different things. Now we haven't even addressed the alignment part yet.
True.
So whether we want you to put some different lines on there. So with you, I'd be inclined to maybe put 3 lines on there, and then focus your strike between the inside and the middle line.
Okay.
So just encourage you to aim slightly towards that heel side. Your tendency is always to hit it slightly toey.
Sure is.
Right, so let's kind of make that little adjustment and see if we can just tidy that up.
So that's kind of the next step in the process because everything else is pretty good.
Just fine tuning things like that is the icing on the cake.
Huh.
How did that feel strike-wise? Did it feel solid?
It did, yeah.
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 Very good. Very, very good. Lots and lots of good stuff sort of going on there. Now, interestingly, your angle attack can at times get a little bit on
Down
the
a little bit.
downward. So that's where the launch we lost a little bit of the launch. So, that's just the stroke to stroke, some of the little differences. What is the sort of three alignment, the three little alignment marks? How does that sort of?
It's nice to have something on there for sure.
Is it? Yeah. Better than nothing.
For me, I don't think I could putt well with nothing. That's for sure. And then trying to move the impacts location closer to center.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely helpful for that.
I think for people, watching and everyone back home, just, in terms of knowing what's right for them, I think, the better you are at your sweet spot awareness and where the CG is, you would be sort of more inclined to go with something, maybe one line or a dot.
Okay.
If you are definitely needing a little bit more of a help with regards to what's toe and what's heel, I think going with the 3 lines is great.
Right.
For you, like we're talking about, we're very focused on the middle and the heel lines.
Right here.
So right on sort of those 2 is where you want to be feeling like you're going to strike this.
And why on the front part of the putter, not the back?
Just so we can keep that loft down.
Right. So I'm not adding.
Yeah. So your eyes don't go to the back of the putter, and then sort of your eyes basically train that to be where sort of CG is, and then it starts to deliver more loft on the face.
Okay.
Right. So we want you to kind of keep focused on the front of the putter meeting the ball rather than being focused on the back of the putter meeting the ball.
That would tend to. Okay. Yeah. That's a good explanation. Okay. Felt pretty good.
I mean, the proof's in the pudding in terms of the hole. I mean, when we were sort of hitting a few earlier on, trying some different stuff, I mean, we'd missed the odd one here and there, and you've not
sure these are going in.
Not missed many from 12 feet, which is good.
It's a good one to end on. It's what it felt like, though. It felt like everything came in very straight. Yeah.
So face angle, impact was perfect. Your path is really as good as somebody's going to stroke it. I mean, you've such minimal rotation. That to me is the value of the torque balanced face sort of orientation.
Right. So that had minimal actual rotation of the face.
Very minimal. So you're keeping that very very square. So if we go back again to the club data, if we look at where that face is, so 3 inches post pre-impact and then 3 inches post-impact, you have just over 1 degree of rotation.
Really?
That's nothing. I normally see 5.
Really?
I normally see about 2.5 degrees open, and then that normally gets back to about square and then 2.5 degrees closed for most players. So if you're able to keep the blade that square for that long, that's an awfully good thing.
You have a better window at which you hit the putt square. That's basically what you're doing.
What we're trying to do is be between 1 degree open or closed, generally to make this putt.
Yeah.
Well, your putter was, from a 6-inch space, was within half of that delta. So you've got 2 degree window. You're only needing 1 of it. And so if you strike that ball anywhere between that 6-inch zone, you're absolutely fine.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand why excessive rotation. Basically, it's like a margin of error issue.
Definitely.
So if you're not perfectly squaring at the right time, it will potentially be way open or closed.
There's huge value to that in terms of influence and rotation, and that for me is that's the holy grail of putting. I think I've said that multiple times.
Yeah.
Controlling the face angle is the primary, then really making sure the ball rolls properly. It's important, but it is the secondary.
Yeah.
It's not sort of vertical face control is not as important as horizontal face control.
Yeah, because if you roll the ball poorly but it's dead on line, you're probably still going to make it. But
you will.
If you roll it great and it's misaimed, it doesn't matter how.
You could have the best roll for launch and spin in the world, but it's off into. Yeah,
right. Cool.
So a new tool for us, new toys, new sort of ways in which we can dial in players. I mean, you can see that's quite a comprehensive process from start to finish, and that's just dealing with one brand. So what it does is it really narrows down the options of the types of putters that are going to work well for us. This isn't going to be for everyone. There's going to be different times where we need to utilise the grooves. We need to utilise different higher MOI heads potentially, things like that. And some people might just not like the shape or look of the heads.
Sure enough. Yep.
So we might have to go down other directions. But
it's an excellent fitting tool.
It's a
obviously.
really great fitting system, which is really what attracted me to it, because I felt like maybe there was times where had the opportunity to overlook certain key aspects of putter design. I always feel like preference is too much. Sure, you have to like it, but let's work together. You tell me what you like, and I'll tell you what works.
Yes.
And then let's kind of find a happy medium. So if we, as you say, if we don't have it, we'll build it. Hope that wasn't too much overkill in terms of the detail-orientated nature of how these putter fits can go, but it just shows you that it's a lot more than just grabbing a putter off the rack and rolling a couple and go, I like the feel and look at that one. Try not to sort of just resort to just doing that.
No, it was a good hour session where we went through everything, and that's what you need to do to find something that's right.
That's exactly it. Yeah. So different head options. If Matt liked a mallet, if Matt liked a blade, if that was what worked, obviously testing with the laser and making sure that we're pointing the loft sort of at the right height and at the right sort of angle relative to the hole. That's exactly what we want to do.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Good. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Let us know if you've been through this process. I know a bunch of our kind of regular customers have been tested with the Edel system in the past, whether it be with us or with other people, and it's interesting to hear different player stories. So let us know yours and let us know what you think.
Yeah, please.
Excellent. Okay, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.